Right now, I did say I wanted to speak about Ibrahima Konate because the Times have put out a story, and if the Times are putting it out, it wouldn't be what I would class as bullshit anyway. The Times are a very, very good outlet, and they're one of the newspapers that I would always have a lot of faith in when they report on anything. They say that Liverpool started contract negotiations with Ibrahima Konate before October of last year. The French international, 25 years of age currently, is said to be earning about 80 grand a week at Liverpool Football Club, but is holding out for around £200,000 per week for a new deal. And I wanted to know what people think about Konate on 200 grand a week, because I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's a 200 grand a week defender right now. He could become one, and he is on his way to it. But to go from 80 grand to 200 grand, I'm not having that. That's Virgil van Dijk money. So for me, I wouldn't be doing it, but I don't want to lose him either. So I'd be talking 150. But I want to know what you guys think. So let's get the poll up. So I'm going to give you three options. Should Liverpool pay Konate £200,000 per week? He's currently on 80k. Yes, no, or offer him about 150k. I want to know what you guys think on that one. I think it's too much of a jump. We're talking about more than doubling a wage there. So let's wait and see what happens. I just think he isn't a £200,000 a week defender for me. Now look, I guess the argument against this or back on this will be some others will quote prices that other centre-backs or other defenders are earning elsewhere. But we aren't elsewhere. We are what we are, and we pay what we pay, and our wage bill is measured in a certain way, and the top earners on our wages are usually the ones about 180 to 200 grand. And I don't think that Ibrahima Konate is fully finished and worth 200 grand a week. If you throw in the injury concerns we had in the past, which to be fair this season have been a lot better, versus the fact that he has moments in him like we seen yesterday, I just don't think he's worth 200 grand. But I don't want to lose him either. We do have to remember as well that Paris Saint-Germain will be hovering around here, and they'd have an interest in him, and Liverpool have let this get to a situation once again where Ibu will only have a year to go at the end of this season. He'll have 1 year left on his Liverpool contract. 40-year-old Verge said he's one of the best though. No, look, I'm not trying to say the man doesn't deserve a significant pay rise, and I'm not trying to say that he isn't a good defender. He absolutely is, and has gotten better. But Virgil is probably going to sign a deal on about that money, or maybe a tiny bit more. And I'm not putting him in the category with Virgil van Dijk yet. He's still below Van Dijk for me. Trent was on about 180 a week. Firmino, when he left, was at about 180 per week. I haven't seen enough to justify 200 grand a week for me at the minute. I'd go 150 and then reevaluate it in 2 years again, where he'd be 27. And if he has pushed on to be a Virgil van Dijk level defender and shown that consistency over those 2 years, then we talk that 200, 220 grand. What is Gravenberch on? I think he should get a rise. Honestly, Stephen, I don't know, mate. I don't know off the top of my head. My heart wants to say about 100, but I'm not 100% certain. Craig, if you offered EB 150, he'd say no. We knew PSG's waiting, so let's get a transfer fee. Well, we are at that point where if he doesn't agree a deal with Liverpool, and Liverpool won't budge, and he won't budge on the amount, well, yeah, that's what you're looking at this summer. It would be selling him. I don't know what it'd be worth with 1 year left on his deal. But again, we have to say this is a problem of our club's making, because they let the situation get to this point. So if they're not going to budge and they don't want to put anywhere near 200 G's, or he doesn't want to take a knockdown offer closer to maybe 150 or whatever, then it's either sell or he leaves for free in a year. Gravenberch on 150 a week, is he? Wow. That's a lot of dough, isn't it? 150. Now look, he's worth it. But 150 at this age, when he hits his peak at 25, 26, what are we going to be paying Gravenberch? But interesting, 150. I would put Konate probably in that bracket of about that money. So I would personally offer Konate somewhere 120 to 150 in that bracket. Colin said, I don't know of another Premier League clubs that gives away its players. Yep. Or lets them get to this point. Because Trent's about to walk out the door in the prime of his career for free, which is, by anyone's reckoning, the height of stupidity for the club to allow that to happen. Again, we've had all season to find a breakthrough with Konate, and we haven't done it. So I wonder, is there some world where the club cash in on Konate this summer? This is really setting up to be an interesting summer, because you can't let Konate get to this position where he hasn't got a deal sorted out by the time we kick off for the new season in August. And again, no Liverpool fan wants to see a player like Konate walk out the door for free in a year. It's hard enough stomaching it with Trent, and to see it happen again. Look, I was okay about the likes of the Bobby Firmino ones because they really are at the tail end of their career. Gini Wijnaldum, I think the club should have kept, but I don't know on this one. What do you think he's worth if we were to sell him with 1 year to go? 50? 45, 50 with 1 year to go? On the full market value, I'd say he's probably a £70 million centre-back or an £80 million centre-back. Yeah, we've had the 1,000 votes. So we asked, should Liverpool pay Ibrahim Konate £200,000 per week? And with the most clicked answer with 47% was off from about 150. No was next on the list with 28% and yes 24%. So it seems like the majority of people don't feel he's worth £200,000 a week. 150, a lot of people feel much more comfortable on that one. And obviously you would add in the yes to the 46% on the 150k as well. So most people want him to stay, but on a figure less than the quoted £200,000 a week. So confused on Kwanzaa. He came on and played great against PSG, then never seen again. It's been a weird one, right? Because all the way from the very start of the season, it looked like his card was marked in that Ipswich Town game where he was replaced at half-time. But he was the starting centre-back on the first day of the season ahead of Konate. So I'm wondering, was it something because Konate wasn't ready? Or was the plan for him to become the starting centre-back? But either way, his use has been few and far between since then. Sometimes you've seen him come on at right-back, of course. But I don't know, I'm not convinced that the manager's convinced by him, personally. So I want to just ask you about Kwanzaa and Slot. I want to know what you guys think. So do you think Slot trusts Kwanzaa? Yes or no? There can't really be an unsure option here, just because it is just an opinion. So let me know what you think. Do you think Arne Slot trusts Jarell Kwanzaa?